Hello and welcome. It's no secret that some Pokemon are more popular than others, it's pretty obvious. You can see it with Charizard and Pikachu, they're pretty well-known mascots, but there's a good majority of Pokemon that are overshadowed by them, and I believe that they deserve more love. So today I'll be discussing 10 Pokemon who I believe are underrated. Now before this video gets started, this is my personal opinion if it wasn't clear enough, so if you don't agree with it, then that's probably why. Rogue, you can't have personal opinions. It's 2020. Well, shit. My number 10 slot is Scyther. Scyther is often overshadowed by Scyther. With Scyther being Scyther's evolution, it's no surprise. What most people may not know is that they actually have the same base stat total. They just have a different spread. If you choose to evolve your Scyther into Scyther, you sacrifice your speed, but gain attacking defense. You lose your weakness to poison. But you're 4 times weak to fire, so but if you choose to keep Scyther, not only are you fast, you're also pretty decently strong. Your defense may not be as high, but honestly, if you can outspeed anything, there shouldn't really be an issue. If you slap an Eviolite on that thing, then you're gonna be in for a ride. And the number 9 slot is Bisharp. Bisharp is already a really cool looking Pokemon. It has 490 for its base stat total, and most of it goes to attack and defense. Its HP is really mediocre, but it has tons of resistances to normal, grass, ice, flying, rock, ghost, dragon, dark, and steel, no damage from poison, and no damage from psychic. That's more than half of the types, but it does take 2 times damage from fire and ground, and 4 times from fighting, so there's that. Its shiny is really cool too, it's blue. Okay, maybe I just have a thing for scythes, but these last few Pokemon have tons of blades on them. But that's not gonna stop me, I make the list, not you. And the number 8 slot is Absol. So Absol is a pretty good looking Pokemon. Like, look at it. It's cool, it's adorable, it's both. It's the best of 2 worlds. Absol is a pretty hard-hitting Pokemon, but the rest of its stats are just mostly balanced but mediocre. But it has 3 weaknesses. Fighting types and bug types aren't really seen a lot in competitive, but fairies? Yeah, you're gonna see that a lot. Poor little Absol. It does have access to pressure though as an ability, which I guess could be useful. And the number 7 slot is Glyscor. Now, Glyscor is already a really cool looking Pokemon. When it was first introduced in Generation 4, I was so happy. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Gligar was okay, but Glyscor is so much better. It has some pretty good attack and speed, but where it excels surprisingly is defense. You could honestly have a hard-hitting tank, it just has mediocre HP. It takes half damage from fighting types, poison types, bug types. It takes no damage from electric types or ground types. That's like so many resistances. It's only weak to water and 4 times weak to ice, which, yeah, you're not really gonna find a lot of ice in competitive if that's what you're looking for. So overall, it's really good. And the number 6 slot is Zoroark. Now you may be saying, what is this clickbait? But Zoro was in the thunder. No, I put Zorua there because Zorua is my favorite Pokemon, okay? And Zoroark just happens to evolve from Zorua. So, get off my back, please. But anyways, as I was saying, back in Generation 5, this thing was not obtainable until Black and White 2. But once it was accessible, it was really fun to use, at least in my opinion. I loved using its ability Illusion. Oh my. I used to make the most convincing illusions. It would always work. It was beautiful. You could honestly have an entire team of Zoroarks. And he's like, which one's the real one? It's so fun to use. But other than that, Zoroark's stats are pretty decent. Its attack, special attack, and speed are pretty good, with special attack being the highest. But its HP is mediocre, along with its defense and special defense, so you can get some pretty hard hits out of Zoroark, but it won't last long. I just really love Zorua and Zoroark, and I had to put them on the list. It's impossible for me not to. And the number 5 slot is Paulo Sand. Now, the whole idea of this Pokemon is really cool. It's a sandcastle that's being haunted. That may not sound cool on paper, but something dies there, right? And it possesses it. Its shiny is so cool. It's based off of a real black ash beach. It uses water compaction as an ability. It makes sense. It's a bunch of sand. It may not be the best competitively, but I'm not a competitive Pokemon player. I'm just recently getting into that anyway. And their number 4 slot is Archaeops. Archaeops was one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 5, and also one of my favorite fossil Pokemon. Its speed is pretty good, but where it really excels is attack. It's a really hard-hitting Pokemon. Yeah, it does have 5 type resistances to normal fire, flying, bug, and poison, but it's 2 times weak to water, electric, ice, rock, steel. But at least it takes no damage at all from ground types. That's a plus, right? Its ability Defeatist is really bad. Whenever this Pokemon's HP is below 50%, its attack and special attack are half. Why? And the number 3 slot is Electros. Electros' sprite looked so much cooler in black and white, and then whenever it entered the 3D era, it kinda looks stupid. But we're not here to talk about sprites now, are we? Yes, we are. Electros has access to Levitate, which already gives it a ground immunity. It hits like a truck in both attack and special attack. Its speed isn't all that great though, but its HP is decent at least. And you may think, oh, well, how can it get any better? Well, I can tell you, it has no weaknesses whatsoever. This Pokemon has no weaknesses. Like, that's beautiful. Unless the Pokemon can negate its Levitate ability, it has no weaknesses. It's resistant to electric, flying, and steel, and it's completely immune to ground type. Suck it, Sableye. Electros is the true champ of Pokemon Black and White too, but there are others that are more underrated. In the number 2 slot is Staraptor. Its 2 highest stats are attack and speed, and that's really good for sweeping. Intimidate helps a lot since Staraptor's defense may not be the best. With an adamant nature, you're basically going to demolish anything. This was the first starter bird king before Talonflame kicked in, but now everyone pays attention to him. What about Staraptor? He's still doing his best. Look at him. Look at him. He's edgy. Talonflame may be good, but Staraptor is pretty close, and I think he still deserves some credit where credit is due. In the number 1 slot is Floatzel. Now, hear me out, okay? Floatzel is a really cool looking Pokemon. It has a pool floaty for a neck pillow. How cool is that? Look at him. He's so smug about it too. But aside from looks, Floatzel is a pretty decent Pokemon. Its speed is pretty good, and its attack is good. But most water type moves are special attack. It has access to Aqua Jet, which is pretty good. It may not be the best Pokemon competitively, but that's not what this list is about. It's about how underrated a Pokemon is, and I just think Floatzel deserves some more love and praise. And just look at his neck pillow! I can't get over that! It's so stylish. I'm not a competitive player. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, because I know someone's gonna be like, actually, no, I don't know what this is all about, okay? I'm not invested in competitive.